is an AI expert. She's like, you're such an asshole.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right, Rowena, thank you for joining us today.
Hi.
Why don't you run us through your presentation? You can share your
Yeah,
screen.
yeah, for
Rock and
sure.
roll.
Hold on one second. Let me get a little oriented here. I was gonna record it myself, but I think that's weird. Okay.
I'll send you the recording.
Okay. Here I am.
You can catch it on YouTube too, if you want.
That's fine. Um, so I have here my slideshow presentation, which is actually a little bit non-traditional, right? So I decided to go ahead and put this on the World Wide Web. And just to preface the presentation, I know we come to these things looking to be presented to, but I also want everyone to be mindful of the fact that this presentation took about 4 hours to put together with AI. Everything in here is pretty much fully functional. So look at it in terms of the pieces that are coming together. So kind of like it's a souped up hot rod, right? But we're going to look under the hood and kind of keep in mind that these various aspects, whether it's the floating head or the call now button, and how I navigate through the presentation, look at those individual pieces and think to yourself, how could that benefit me and my business? What could it turn into? Or maybe it inspires you to think about like, hey, this is what I want as an end result for my business. And then sky's the limit, honestly. Whatever you can conjure up in your mind about what you envision being a useful tool for your business to get you to next steps, AI can do it. You just have to have the right architect and the right network, which is what this meeting is, and the partnerships that we're developing here. So I myself have about 30 years of experience in the construction industry, so I'm not just a computer geek. I have a lot of on-site experience that I bring with me to help kind of bring tech into our industry. And just to talk a little bit about that, I've gotten into AI. A lot of the stuff that I do is trying to find automated or AI-driven solutions for our industry. So that can vary from anything from, estimating and bid support, which is what South Bay obviously is doing for our industry, helping streamline that for contractors that just don't have the bandwidth, right, bringing that into their scenario. And then as far as when I was talking about functionality, just think if you have something on your website or you have something that you want to present to clients, we can always go to a demo. I grabbed some stuff that I thought was funny. Um, we all know this scene in Office Space. So that's essentially what we're doing is kicking things to the fax machine to the curb there and moving into various ways to help supplement our business so that we can actually, in my opinion, and it's a common phrase that I use, we can use people for the things that they're good at, right? Use the computers. It's the same thing as, when we transition from sending faxes to emails, it's about finding that new tool to help take you to the next level. So we have our automations or workflows. Um, we do CRMs, which are kind of used really loosely in the industry in terms of like organizing your leads and bringing in new business. It's all about client relation management, right? And that's different for every company and how they function and how you decide to nurture new, existing, and past clients. And then as far as RFP and proposal systems, I do have a pretty extensive background in the government sector. So I help companies with putting together their proposals, their libraries, their big calendar to stay organized, right? As long as you're organized, you can move with speed. If you're not and you're all over the place and things are, it's kind of I'll refrain from using our common phrase, but it's all over the place, disorganized, you're not going to get very far. So it's really important that you get organized first. So as far as an AI workflow, there's some kind of estimations in terms of how long things take to put together when you get an estimate, 4 to 6 hours. Proposal writing can be anywhere from 2 to 3 days, especially if you have a lot of overhead, right? Different people doing different sections. The responses, lead tracking, oh my gosh, if you're doing it manually, it's terrible, right? But if you implement some type of automation or even go as far as trusting AI to handle some of those things, you can see it's fractions, right? You can put together an estimate in less than 15 minutes. I put them together in less than 5. Your proposals, 30 minutes, RFP, a couple of hours. And then you don't even have to worry about lead tracking, right? It's just done for you. And then essentially your leads are just kind of put into your lap and you can close them or handle them however you want. So what that might look like, it's a nice little automation, again, looking at the functionality of this, right? Just kind of moving you through the process automatically while you rock on and do the stuff that you need to do in your business on the operations side. Threw in everyone here that's been invited just to kind of represent the network that we're trying to build. On various fronts, we all come to the table with strengths and weaknesses. So hopefully we're here to kind of fill in those gaps and develop a team of super people. And then as far as real results, obviously everything just gets faster and better and more efficient the more you work with a tool like AI. And kind of like what Aaron was saying, if you're not, if you're scared of it, you just kind of got to jump in, and cost, is sometimes a factor, but sometimes you got to pay for something that's going to move you forward. And that's the whole point of it. You're not going to know unless you try. So if you guys are interested, I do have in the back here, you can go to this website. It's southbaygrading.opshub-rconstructionsolutions.io. And you can try out our my AI conversation with Mike. I'll just play a short clip so you can kind of. So that's just a couple seconds of it. It's about 3.5 minutes. You're welcome to hear it yourself. This has a mobile version of it as well. So if you go to this link, you can also click this number to dial and talk to Mike yourself and ask him whatever you want. Sky's the limit. And then I just kind of want to show you on the back end, this conversation actually turned into an appointment. So I'm in my system as Slim Jim, because if I put my name, I get really confused when I test things out. But it turns into basically an appointment, and you get a transcript and everything that shows visually kind of how the conversation went. And then from there, I use a program called High Level to do this, and we build everything out in here. But you can, click on the appointment and mark it as show, take notes, and all that good stuff. So this is part of the automation, right? Somebody had called in, their information gets sucked in here. The appointment is set automatically without a person involved. And I think that's the biggest thing, because as we know in sales, we get these appointments set, and then you go to the call and they didn't show up, and it's like, oh man, I went through back and forth on the messenger and all that stuff to get the appointment set up. And the point is that this is getting set up automatically. You show up, they don't, it's cool. It'll send out a follow-up. They do show up, you close them, even better. So that's my presentation. Thanks for watching.
Awesome. I'm, super impressed by Rowena. She's, we've been, I don't know, it's been what, 3, 4, 5 months now that we've been back and forth on some stuff. And
I feel like it's been like, it feels like I've known you guys forever, honestly, and
Awesome.
It has probably only been a few months. So
yeah.
I think that's great.
So, here's a true testament to how this works, right? So we met on LinkedIn. We had some conversations about some project management stuff that we needed help with. We paid Rowena to take care of things for us. Then we ended up connecting her to a client that she is now servicing the team over there on Lincoln. And now she's here in our bid room meeting, showing you the power of AI and all of the things that it can do. And that's what this is all about. So if you don't get anything else out of this group, make the effort to make a contact here with somebody you don't know, and ask questions. We're all here. We want to see everybody win. So take advantage of us. And we really appreciate people like Rowena who come into our network and are also looking for ways to promote and empower the people that are here, and show them there are other ways of doing things. And a big part of our next book, Buy Back Your Time, is you got to realize when you're not good at something, give it to somebody who is good at it, and stay doing the things that produce the most amount of leverage for you. It's easy to get hung up on paying other people high dollars if you see them as high dollars. But I tell everybody who's on this call, if you're on this call, your time's worth $250 an hour. So paying somebody $100 an hour to do something that you're not good at and take the amount of time that it would take you, probably just say 10 hours, and they can reduce it down to, even if it's 4 hours of their time, it just bought you 6 hours of your own time, which is worth $1,800.
Yeah.
And you paid them $400. So you got to break the cycle of thinking that somehow paying for things is wrong. It's the right way to do it. You will never get anywhere. You're never going to get anywhere great on your own steam. So
I wanted to
Good.
kind of just throw in something about that is it's about the bandwidth too, right? There's only so much that as business owners and stuff that you can do. And yes, you can do it yourself, but it's like you're just like shredding your mind, right? And you're constantly jamming stuff into your bandwidth that's not really needed. And it keeps you from thinking outside the box because you're like, oh, I got to do this, this, and this. When like you said, Sean, you could just hire somebody to do that, someone that's higher paying, so you don't have to micromanage them. It gets done, and then you can use your bandwidth for more things and growing and moving forward, as opposed to, being down in the trenches and stuff. So
10-4. All right. Well, thank you, Rowena, for joining us. And
thank
in more
you.
ways than one. All right, let's go to the next one. Pushing on 8:30 here, man. All right, neighborhood hands. We have event this week on the